Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Wealthy Boss Show. I am your host, Mariah Seacrest Comer, your personal trainer, your yoga instructor, and your go-to gal when it comes to taking care of yourself while working a full-time corporate job and running a side hustle, or feeling like you're working two jobs because your side hustle is your full-time gig and you never know how to put it down and quit working. Trust me, I've been there. You're in good company. The whole Wealthy Boss community is dedicated to those who are super ambitious and realizing that taking care of yourself is a worthwhile investment, even though it's not so easy to do. So tonight we are talking about the topic of why changing your health habits is so darn hard. Now, of course, we're not just going to gripe about it. We're actually going to dig into the science of how changing our habits doesn't always work, why it doesn't work, and then, of course, more importantly, what to do about it so that when we are attempting to change our behavior, to modify how we eat and work out and take care of ourselves, that we really want to be making sure that we're working in the favor with our brains, the way that our brains function, as opposed to just winging it and trying to rely on willpower, because chances are that hasn't worked out so well in the past. So it's important to understand that bad habits never really die. That's the bad news. Bad habits never really go away. Think about the habits that you've gotten into that maybe you're not super proud of or so wild about. Maybe you would like to start to see changing in your life. Chances are you didn't develop that habit last month, right? You've been, eating your kids' chips and candy for a while now, not just last week. You've been relying on too much coffee at the end of the day that keeps you wired and waking up throughout the night, and then having to rely on more caffeine all throughout the following day. Chances are you've been doing that for, more than since last Tuesday. So old habits never really died. You earned them. They were hard earned. You practiced them through much repetition. So they're not really ever going to fall out of your system. So that's the bad news. The good news is that you can start to exercise your new healthy habits. No pun intended. I really didn't mean that, you guys. Okay, look how cute I'm being. But you can start to, what's the other word for exercise? You can start to repeat essentially your new healthy habits so that they start to override the unhealthy, bad, old habits. So your new habits can become stronger than your unhealthy habits, and that is what we're after. So let's dive in a little bit deeper, look at how this plays out from a neurological perspective. And to let you know, I'm going to be drawing largely from a man by the name of Charles Duhigg and his very popular and successful book, The Power of Habit. It's a wonderful book. I'm going to kind of dive down just into the nitty gritty of just one important critical piece of habit formation that I find is so important, especially when it comes to improving our fitness outcomes and getting ourselves into that healthy routine. So, 3 essentials to build a healthy craving that is going to override that old, unhealthy, bad habit. 3 essentials that will lead to that 4th magical element, which is craving, doing what's good for us. And trust me, it does happen. I crave workouts, and I'm going to tell you how you can too. You need a cue, you need a routine, and you need a reward. You also need some repetition, but we'll talk about that later. So according to Charles Duhigg, who's done a lot of research behind how the brain functions when changing its behavior, you need a cue. So a cue is anything that reminds you to do something or is something that's repeatable. So it might be, your alarm clock. That's my cue to get up and exercise. It could be, you exercise whenever, you see your running shoes out. So maybe you set your running shoes out the night before. Maybe it's when you get home from work and that's your cue to put in an exercise video or go attend a fitness class. So a cue is what is going to remind you to do the behavior. And typically the more physical of a cue it is, the more ingrained that habit becomes. So you need a cue followed by the routine. So the cue and the routine are always the same. So whenever that alarm clock goes off, you roll out of bed and you go to the gym or you go for a run. You need an immediate reward. So in the Boss Body System, my premium fitness and weight loss program, I dig deep into identifying what the most important outcomes that you want out of fitness are at the moment, because they change. There's a million benefits of exercise. A lot of people, of course, start out on a fitness program because of a weight loss goal, which is totally great. That's important. But listen, that is why so many people often don't stick with their goals, because here's why. In order to solidify the exercise habit, you need to experience a reward every single time you start to pair that cue and that routine together. Well, it takes a little bit of time to lose weight. You're not going to do one workout and then suddenly look in the mirror and think, that was worth it because now I'm thinner, right? No, it takes repetition before you start to see those results. So if you're not immediately identifying a reward with every single workout or every single healthy habit you're making, you're not setting yourself up to continue that behavior. Your brain has to associate the reward with each and every behavior. So I encourage you then to celebrate some small wins, to start to identify how working out makes you feel or how that healthy habit makes you feel, and to identify and really celebrate and revel in every single instance of that reward, okay? That's really important to notice how you feel as opposed to how you look, or maybe it's a different outcome for you. Maybe you just feel calmer. Maybe it is for a while you're building that kind of extrinsic reward where your reward. That's why entering pools where you're betting each other more money to win or lose can often have a good result, because you're tying an immediate reward to the behavior. Okay, so we talked about the cue, the routine, and the reward. Now, those three in and of themselves will eventually lead to craving a habit, but not right away. So that's the other piece. So there's a magic number of days. We used to think it was 21. We used to be common sense that it's 21 days to create a new habit. Research is now showing us that that those numbers might not be necessarily the same. But here's the thing. You have to complete as many wins. It's not necessarily about as many days, but you need to get as many wins under your belt in order to establish this habit. And I'm going to release the magic number of how many days or repetitions of this behavior that it takes tomorrow. So I want you to come back tomorrow or Thursday, because tomorrow and Thursday I'm teaching a free live masterclass that I'm going to tell you a little bit about at the end. So a little bit of a cliffhanger, but there is some new science that tells us how many days we need to repeat this habit cycle of cue, routine, reward in order to close that habit loop with what we call a craving. So the other piece to this that you need to keep in mind is that this very habit loop is often the reason that we stop doing the workouts that we love, that we stop taking care of ourselves when our circumstances change. When our circumstances change, that means that the cue that was triggering the behavior, whether that was a workout or drinking water or going to bed on time, those healthy habits, when our circumstances change, that means that our cues often change. So the cues that were set up to remind us of this healthy habit often go out the window, so we no longer associate, there's like a missing link in that whole cycle of the habit loop. So that's really important then for you to understand when that happens, to be able to have a fitness plan or a health plan that is adaptable, that fluxes and changes when you change, when your life changes. So that's something I really dive deep into in the Boss Body System, where we identify, how to set up a workout plan that works for you now, and then how to revisit it every month or so, looking at what outcomes you're wanting for, just specifically you and that month, and what benefits of exercise are most important to you then in that moment, working backwards then to look at your challenges and your resources and how to work with the life you have, not the life that you wish you had. And that's going to really help you avoid some of those pitfalls of, say, you used to work out a lot with your best friend. You went to attend, maybe you attended yoga class together 3 times a week, and then she had a baby and suddenly she couldn't make those class times. Well, that threw your cue off, or maybe you had the baby and that threw your whole cue off, which threw the whole habit loop out. So I love teaching people how to be aware of this, how to navigate for it. it's definitely not a doom and gloom situation. When your circumstances change, you can change along with them. You just need to be aware, and you need to plan around them. And there's some mindset pieces that go into that as well, in terms of your expectations and not putting so much pressure on yourself to hold yourself to the same set of behavior that a previous set of circumstances allowed you to have, your current set of circumstances doesn't allow for. Now, I'm living proof that your circumstances can change, your cues can change, and you can maintain, and that not only that habit, but that actual craving. You want to work out, you wouldn't dream of giving it up. I'm living proof of that because my life has changed so many times in the past decade. We've moved, like not even moved 7 times, you guys. We have lived, I think, in 7 cities since in 5 years. And then multiple moves within that. I have worked probably 4 full-time day jobs. Obviously, like sequentially, I've changed full-time day jobs that typically have not been in the fitness world. While running businesses, while changing my business model, while buying houses. We've had 3 houses, rescuing dogs. We're going through the adoption process. So my cues have changed all the time, or my external circumstances and my schedule. However, I've continued to maintain my wellness program. It will shift. It will look slightly different from month to month based on what my goals are, but it's always there because it's always important to me, and I always crave the reward that it brings, whether that's more energy, whether that's just staying sane, that's usually what it is, whether it's liking the way that I look in the mirror, whether it's trying to reach a goal for maybe a race because I have this obstacle that I wanted to face that I know I'm going to develop some inner strength and inner confidence from. So I've been able to roll and adapt with that and really maintain the same level of fitness, or a very similar level of fitness, a level of fitness that works for my life, that is really worth investing in. So if I can do it, I know you can. I just need to help show you some of those tools so that you can understand the habit loop, know how long it takes to create that new habit loop, and know what, in light of that, what the proper changes are, what the proper pacing is, so that you don't get burned out and give up. 75% of people give up before they ever meet their fitness goals when they start in a fitness program. But employing these smart habit loops elements is what's going to set you apart, and scientifically is what sets everyone apart. Those who follow the system of following within the footfall of the habit loop are those who achieve their results. I want to help you get there. This is the tip of the iceberg. I would love to share more strategies on how to lock in this habit loop. As I mentioned, there's some mindset pieces that go into it about letting go of the expectations to do everything perfectly. There's some very practical things like how much we should be doing to get started. There's also some practical considerations about where we're spending the best effort. So some exercises are frankly better than others when it comes to weight loss and sticking with our new health habits and getting the results that we want. So I'm going to dive into all this tomorrow and Thursday. So it's either or, whichever time frame works best for your schedule. I'm offering a free live masterclass. It is called the Entrepreneur's Fitness Shortcuts. We're going to learn how to build a lean body and spike your energy in just minutes a day. Minutes a day, not hours a day. Trust me, I know it will work within your schedule. We're also going to share some examples of other people within the Wealthy Boss community who maybe like you felt, maybe possibly you're feeling a little bit of a conflict when it came to taking better care of their health. They knew they wanted to, but they're also concerned about letting go of any time of their day because they had businesses to run and families to take care of. And we're going to look at what that struggle looked like for them, what they did about it, and how it impacted not only them personally, but how it came back and actually implemented both their businesses and their families. So we're going to take a look at that. And I'm going to invite you to get to know me on a deeper level, get to know a little bit more of my story, and find out how we can do this wellness thing together, because it is so critical as business owners that we invest in our bodies and our minds. Our bodies and our minds are the most important assets that we have as business owners. If we're not taking care of them properly, we're not going to be effective business owners. We're not going to be running the type of business and frankly, the type of life that we really dream of. We need to get these steps in order so that we can bring our best selves to the table, so that we can show up as our most productive, as our most energetic, and as our most confident. So I invite you to join me in that free live masterclass. I only teach this live class a couple of times a year, so please don't miss out. Again, I'm offering it 2 different days this week. So tomorrow, Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. You can do the math backwards if you're in a different time zone. Plus, when you sign up, there's a special link where you can find out what that is in your time zone to even save you the math. Or Thursday night, also at 9 p.m. You can sign up if you're watching this directly from my Facebook page. You can sign up above it. I will share the replay in the Wealthy Boss community. So that is also, if you click on the banner in our Wealthy Boss community group, then you are more than free to sign up there. And if you have entrepreneurs in your community, so if maybe you're a business owner that helps coach other entrepreneurs, or if you have customers that you know would like to take better care of their health, please share this with them. This class is only being taught for a couple of days. I want everyone to be able to take advantage of it. I want us to be able to start this fitness journey together and be able to be there and be a support and a resource for one another as we get back on track as needed and start to really change slowly, small, little incremental baby steps that will ultimately get us exactly where we want to be. So I invite you to join me there. I can't wait to talk with you. If you have questions in the meantime, drop them in the comments below. I'll hang out for a minute or so to answer those questions. Can't wait to see you live tomorrow night. Also have a Q&A tomorrow night for at the end of the class. So think of your questions now, and I'll see you there. Take care, everyone.